Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you another video. All right, so it's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the sports world. First of all, Shannon Sharp is leaving FS1. Both Club Shay Shay and Undisputed, he will not be a part of going forward. I don't know if Club Shay Shay is going to continue at another place with a different sponsor. I'm not certain, but it's connected to Fox, so that is we know it is going, as well as Undisputed. He has agreed to a buyout with FS1 and will be leaving after the finals rather quickly. Not surprised. I've talked about this maybe one of my therapy sessions back when they were having their issue with the Damar Hamlin thing. And Skip displayed a certain level of I guess disrespect that you know Shay didn't take well to. Didn't come in the next day. They got into it on air, and there's some understanding that kind of sent things the other way a little bit. They also had some negotiation things that have been reported on behind the scenes that ultimately kind of left them in different places, I guess you could say. So it's time for that to come to an end. And I don't know what's going to happen next with those guys. A lot of people are speculating that Shay is going to head over to ESPN and do work with Stephen A. Smith, which I think could be really good. Um, so I'll be keeping my eyes open there. I don't know what happens with Skip from here. I don't know, but it's the end of an era for sure. I am one who thought that they kind of poisoned the well with themselves once they started making fun of people. Once you start making fun of Russell Westbrook and making it unapologetic in regards to saying his name a certain way when his wife has come out and said, please stop doing this. It's making life uncomfortable for my family, etc. And you continue that process, yeah, you reserve the right to do it, but you are also making yourself look a certain way. And I think Skip, uh, he set himself up for the beginning of the end by being that way. I really do believe that. And so everything else after that hasn't been a surprise to me. And I think I made a video about that too when I first, started hearing them kind of going back and forth about Russell Westbrook and hearing it, that Mrs. Westbrook speak that way. I made several videos on it, and I told y'all I thought this was gonna come to an end. I'm like, y'all, you're setting yourself up. It's the wrong energy you putting out. It ain't the same as just critiquing talent. When somebody says their child is being affected by something you're saying at school, nah, that's not gonna go well. And so that's what I see there. Just overall, just time for that to end, I suppose. Even though the ratings probably tell them that it ain't quite time to go, they're gonna do it anyway. So that's the first thing. The next thing to talk about is Bob Myers leaving the Golden State Warriors. I should have probably already reported on that in regards to this channel, but I just didn't get around to it. Bob Myers leaving the Golden State Warriors. Now, we talked about speculation. I had heard that he might be leaving a couple weeks ago, and I guess that came to pass. Uh, I've been hearing conversations about what they think he may want to do, and a lot of people think he wants to be in Los Angeles. Now, obviously, the Lakers are locked up and real happy with Rob Pelinka right now. If any reason, we would move on from Rob Pelinka is to bring in a guy like Bob Myers. But I don't think that Genie Bus is going to do business that way. Not in the middle of what we got going on. And I think Bob Myers is trying to get the heck out of Dodge because the way that he normally likes to build is essentially been shut off. So he don't want to be blamed for why what he built has to be broken down. He don't want to be the one to tear it down, but that has to be torn down. So that's what this tells me is the Golden State Warriors as we know it is likely going to be destroyed. They're going to go back under that luxury tax bill over the next 2 years or 3 years. And Bob Myers doesn't think he could probably continue to build the way that he would otherwise want to build the way this league is going. So essentially, yeah, he got out of there because of that. That's what I think is going on. So for those who think he's going to take another job, I doubt it, man. I don't think he wants to work under these conditions. That's just my own speculation. I've heard nothing like this. But when you're able to put together what he put together and they basically put monkey wrenches in the way that you do it, it's like, well, I can't do my thing. You phase me out the game. So let me get the hell out of here. I got rings. I can get a job anytime I want to back in this league. It's a good time to bow out and enjoy my money. And that's what it is. It's been understood that he's also done some things outside of basketball that have made him very wealthy. So it's not like he needs to do this. And so I just think he leaves on top. He exits on top. He's one of the great execs of all time. And, you got to tip your hat to one of the greats. One of the greats is out there as a free agent. That's what that also means. So if Ballmer wants to throw $1 trillion at him, I'm pretty sure that would be an intriguing situation for him. Other opportunities will arrive. You see what happened in Washington. What was given to the guy from the Clippers, the GM from the Clippers, headed over to Washington to be the president of all 3 basketball teams in that area. So opportunities will be available for Bob Myers. He's going to break some records with his next job. I'll tell you that right now. He's definitely breaking records with his next job, and he's going to have some extravagant title to it. It won't just be GM. He's going to be president of Monumental Basketball or something like that, wherever he ends up. So that's the type of thing that you just don't see coming if you're a lot of these teams that are trying to figure out if you want to maybe move on from some of the guys that you got. You didn't see this coming. If you did, you would have left an opportunity open for you to hire this man. And so it just is what it is. You always know. I don't think he's probably going to take a job right now unless it's a job that he really wants. I think he wants to stay away from the collective bargaining agreement nonsense right now. But if for some reason that's not the case and he does want to take a job, he will definitely be somebody that will be at the top of the list. And as long as he's a free agent, nobody's safe. None of these presidents, none of these GMs are safe. As long as he's hovering out there without a job, anybody can be fired at any moment. And that's the reality of it. So that's the truth, man. That is the God's honest truth. So yeah, those are the 2 things that I've been paying attention to. That's the news right now. And then, of course, for me, just personally, I've just been paying attention to all these draft prospects. So a guy I've been have since seen footage on since last speaking to you all was Isaiah Wong, who's an intriguing player to me. I don't know that he's going to go in the first round or nothing like that, but he reminds me of a taller version of Isaiah Thomas. Just in the way that he kind of gets to his spots, the kind of way that he moves around. He's like 6'3", 6'4", kind of small, but is really, really, really dynamic in slashing at the bucket and 3-level scoring potential. Definitely somebody who's slippery, can move around rather quickly. He's fast, so I just like him as a microwave scorer and somebody who can just be a gamer out there, get buckets for you. Somebody you can comfortably put in off-ball situations as a smaller 2 and be good to create for himself and get some things going on in catch and shoot situations, stuff like that. So he's a guy whose stock is starting to rise. I think it's widely understood that if you put him on a basketball floor, he's going to be productive in most situations. He's just a bit undersized. So that's what I understand. Isaiah Wong will be a very interesting guy to get somewhere mid-second round. And I think that when you consider shot making and some of the things that are being understood is necessary right now, just being able to get a bucket down the stretch of a basketball game, he's somebody that I think is a prospect that can definitely do that from all 3 levels. So yeah, that's the latest. Isaiah Wong is somebody I'm now familiar with as I continue to do homework on these guys. There's a few other names. Olivier something Prosper. I don't remember his full name, but he has 3 names just like mine, and he's somebody that I need to do homework on, whose stock is also starting to rise. Olivier Prosper something. I don't know how to say his name as of yet, but he's definitely somebody who's going to become familiar around here because I know that he can play some ball. I've already heard enough to know that. And I think there was somebody else I did some homework on too. Became familiar with somebody by the name, I can't think of the guy's name, so I don't think it matters if I can't come up with his name, but Black's running mate in Florida. Don't remember his name, but he's the 4th. Something the 4th. I hate when this happens, but nevertheless, I'm learning about these young players. Homeboy needs to develop a jump shot, but can definitely do some things in the mid-range area, driving at the basket. Definitely a bully ball type of forward. He's going to be very physical. So I'm doing homework on these different prospects. Lord knows I don't know their names, but I know what they do. So it's still a weird situation where you know you're going to know these names for years, but in this particular moment, you still have no idea who these people are. So that's this. Having gone through this for 30 years, it's like I know I'm going to know who these people are, and these names will be normal to me later, but they never are right away. Oh, I know who I watch highlights on. I watched the latest footage of Wembanyama. You know, Wembanyama. The thing about Wembanyama that I definitely understand right off the bat is that he is a game changer. I don't know if he's the greatest prospect ever, but he ain't three prospects better than him in the history of the sport. Not three. And the reason why is because his body is so evenly proportionate. It's almost like you took a player who's like 6'6", like Kobe, and just made him bigger. You took Kobe and then just enhanced him to 7'5". But all the things that make a 7'5" guy 7'5", you don't have those problems because they just look like an enhanced version of a 6'6" guy. In other words, he doesn't move like a 7-footer. He moves like a 6'6" guy. You know, and he has moves and skills and gifts at hitting trick shots. So it ain't enough that he's taller than everybody else, but he's also extremely gifted at shooting the ball off the dribble. So it's like you're watching him do Kobe moves, but it's not like Joel Embiid, because Joel Embiid does it and he looks like a 7-footer, trying to mimic moves that that a 6'6" guy does. No, Wembanyama is a guy that looks like he should be 6'6". He's just taller than everybody. It's as if you shrunk the rest of the floor. That's the best way I know to describe it. It's like he's regular size and everybody else is small, and he's moving like he would be if he were 6'6". It's the strangest thing to watch when you see it. And as you realize what he's capable of, you understand that you're at his mercy. In other words, you aren't really contesting his shot. He's going to either make it or miss it. It's almost like Rasheed Wallace back in the day when he shot jumpers. He either makes it or misses it because he's shooting this from such a high arc at a high point that there's no contesting it. And so, with him putting the ball on the floor, dribbling, putting the ball behind his back at 7'5", moving and kind of using Kobe-like footwork and Michael-like footwork, it's just like there is no actual matchup for this guy. Now, the weaknesses that he does have is, believe it or not, he doesn't shoot a very good percentage. He hasn't shot 30% from behind the arc at all. And generally, in theory, you should be able to have success if you put a Draymond Green on him, or some of these dudes that are 6'8", 250, 280, or Jokic. It's going to have a hard time with some of them dudes who are heavy. Zion, they're going to be able to body him up, and they should be able to have success against him, draw fouls against him, push him around. That's where he's not yet where he needs to be. And believe it or not, he's not that great of a catch and shoot guy. He's better with the ball in his hands, which ain't going to be a problem because San Antonio don't have anything else to do but give him the ball. So he's in a perfect spot. And I think some of the other stuff that he needs to work on is just stuff that comes with being a young player, making bad passes, not having all the awareness necessary to, passing out of double teams. He has some of that AD going on where he doesn't really pass out of double teams well, which is something we need to keep an eye on. If you're going to be his opponent, you can throw double teams or triple teams at him. He ain't the greatest passer out of those circumstances. So we're already scouting this kid in terms of being how you're going to have to defend him, how you can have any success against him, because let's face it, the chances of him dominating this league for the next 12 years is damn near imminent. So if you don't figure out ways of trying to defeat this dude now, then you're going to run into him and find out that you're not going to be able to do so. Simply put, this dude should dominate the league, man. That's what I'm here to tell you guys, and I already knew that. Like, I made videos about him maybe a year ago, but his game has grown. He's grown a lot, and I just am starting to understand how incredibly gifted of a scorer he is. He's one of them dudes, and defender, of course. He's going to be the best rim protector in the game easily. But just on the offensive end, he's like Jason Tatum. He played like Jason Tatum, y'all. He plays like Jason Tatum. He plays like Brandon Ingram. He plays like Kobe Bryant. He plays like Michael Jordan. He plays like Kevin Durant. And he shoots like those people. He's just going to have to put up more reps. And for him, just like anybody else, you got to put in the work. You can be gifted as you want to be, but it can go one of two ways. Either you can be this gifted, be this talented, and not work hard, or you can put in the work like Giannis, put in the work like Kobe, put in the work like Mike, and then be the greatest player to ever play. Because he's literally of that caliber, to be completely honest with you. And when you see him down there, you're going to realize it's going to be very difficult to win games he's a part of, just in general, because he's going to be that imposing on both sides of the floor. And trying to score over him and stuff like that, your teardrops, your 3-point shots, he's going to block shots that are not supposed to be blocked. He's gonna get to teardrops. It's gonna become a headache for a lot of coaches trying to guard and defend this guy, and trying to stop this dude. It's gonna be very difficult. But trying to score over him is gonna be even more difficult than trying to stop his shot. He's just gonna be the best rim protector maybe ever if he develops properly. So I'm telling you guys, this dude do fadeaway shots and stuff like that with the ball in his hands. He be dribbling underneath his, he has deck moves, his stutter steps, all kinds of stuff. It's like, yo, there's no way in hell he's supposed to be this physically gifted and this naturally talented. It's not fair. It's not fair. He needs to be kind of average as a basketball player to offset the fact that he's bigger and taller and faster than everybody else. But that's not how this works. If he were 6'6", he would still be an all-star level scorer, is what I'm telling you, man. He would still be able to be an NBA player if he had an average build, man. So, yeah, Wembanyama is as good as advertised. In fact, I walk away feeling like he's even better than that. I get like a semi-headache thinking about this kid, literally, because he was that difficult to behold in terms of trying to stop him. Like, what the hell are you going to put on him? Anybody that's big enough to guard him ain't nearly fast enough to keep in front of him. And so it's one of those situations where it's like, he's going to draw fouls with ease, obviously, with his height. He's going to dunk the ball. He runs the floor. It's not like he's going to slow down. He's a guard, basically. A 7-foot guard. So, but, it's going to be tough for other people who are his height, who have his skills to even guard him. Like Bol. As talented as Bol is, he ain't going to be able to deal with this dude. He's not. Chet Holmgren, we have to see what Chet can do. But I can't wait to see what these two teams, OKC and San Antonio, look like 3 years from now. I'll tell you right now, that's going to be the marquee matchup in the league. I don't know what the Lakers and the Knicks and all these other super teams are going to be doing. But the two guys that are going to be able to match up with one another the most is Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren. They're the only ones that can look each other in the eye because they're the only ones tall enough to mess with each other. So that's going to be what it's about going forward. And I'll tell y'all that right now. Before we even get to that point, San Antonio and OKC about to have an entire era to themselves, if nothing else happens. I'm telling y'all. So that's what I see right there, man. Wembanyama is better than advertised. Not as good. He's being underrated right now. Because that dude his skill level alone is impressive. And then you put that on the body that just looks like nothing we've ever seen, man. Nothing we've ever seen. Looks like everybody else on the court has been shrunk, and he is of normal height. It's the best way I describe it. It's just this next level stuff, man. God did something different by making that player. I'm telling y'all. So that's really what I got to say, man. They're going to have to change rules to try to stop this. It's another Shaq type situation. It's another Kareem Abdul-Jabbar type situation where you got a guy that can legitimately dominate the league to the point where y'all better switch some things around or he's going to dominate like real bad. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling you. If you did. So we'll see. I don't know if San Antonio's going to be able to put together a good enough team around him right away. But I know Devin Vassell is going to immediately play well. Guys like Sohan, my goodness, how dangerous Sohan becomes next to Wembanyama. Yeah, they got some guys that I really like, man. And there's a couple of them I'm not thinking of, but they're extremely talented. And I think San Antonio's going to be all right. Jones is there. Man, I wish I remember the name of this young fella, but he had a breakout season last year for their team. Can't remember his name, but he's very good, a small forward. And so they just got a bunch of stuff that I think they can build upon, but I would like to see San Antonio try to maybe find themselves another pick in this draft. I know they have plenty of picks in the future, but I would like to see them add another high-level talent to this draft on top of Wembanyama. I don't think they should be satisfied at all. So that's what I think, man. Wow. That I just encourage everybody to go check out as much footage of Wembanyama as you can watch, because that kid is going to catch some people off guard who are not prepared for this particular type of talent. They don't. It's a lot of people who are saying, well, could he go number one? I don't know. Scoot Henderson? No. This is not one of those, man. You're gonna take him ahead of some people that you really, really love historically. That's what you're gonna do in regards to this guy. He isn't the most durable person, though. You do expect he's gonna miss some games. I'm just gonna tell you right now, he's not that great of a durable player. He's going to have to work on his conditioning, and of course, his body is going to tell you he's probably going to have to work through some adversity just from being that tall in general. But all in all, his skill set and the way that his body tends to work with him, his control over his body, how he moves, he ain't no normal 7-footer. He's the next level of evolution as it pertains to these 7-foot giants. And if they continue to evolve from here, you're going to be seeing a 10-foot man who plays like a guard in about 20 years. And no, I'm not exaggerating. So that's exactly, I'm serious as hell. So that's really where we're at, man. That's where we're at. You just have to wonder what the next evolution of talent is going to be when you look and behold what Wembanyama actually is. What is next, NBA? But for those who are wondering if this league is going to survive past the LeBron James era, hell yeah, it is. Because as soon as the world gets a chance to see what this dude is about, everyone's going to watch the Spurs. Trust you me. So that pretty much concludes what I got to say, man. I'm going to go get myself something to eat, listen to some more podcasts in regards to the draft, because I am completely enamored with this draft class. The more I find talent there, the more I realize that you want as many picks as possible. Even in the second round, I got about 5 or 6 guys that I already want on my team alone in the second round. So that should tell you how serious this draft is. And of course, the NBA Finals start tomorrow, and my interest in the NBA Final is null. I do not have a lot of interest in the NBA Finals. I don't think it's going to be a bad Finals. It's not like these two teams aren't worthy. I just am much more interested in the draft, to be completely honest with you, and that's where my NBA interest is. So I'm giving you guys where I'm actually interested. I never force it. If I were truly interested in the Finals, that would be all I talk about. But I'm telling y'all, I don't give a damn about the Finals. I'm more interested in Wembanyama highlights. So that's pretty much where I'm at with it, man. I'm going to get back to that. My name is BDL44. I thank you all for watching.